The video you are going to see today here on the channel will make chills creep up your spine. See? After all, things like this aren't caught every day. And even if there's a plausible explanation for it, the fear won't quite go away. Unless you drop a like below, of course. So, are you ready? I'm Tiago Tadeo, and welcome to the Upside Down. No playing with balls indoors. In today's first recording, we have one of those moments that seem to have served as an example for children to never be disobedient again, right? The video was made by two little South Americans of country of origin I can't say exactly, but who certainly love football. The children were trying to do kick-ups inside the house. Not a very good place to do that, right? As many mothers say, it's always a good environment to break something. But anyways, the kids were having a lot of fun, not caring about anything other than the ball, and showing the skill they had in front of the cameras. The problem is what follows in the sequence of this video, guys. When the ball falls in the hallway and the boy who is playing runs after it, when he picks up the toy, he sees something that scares him. Despair takes over the video, and at first, it's even difficult to understand what happens. Could it be their mother wanting to beat them up? A mouse passing through the house? Well, despite being very good theories, the replay of the video shows that it's something that can be much scarier and supernatural too. That seems to be a leprechaun who wants to prank the child or teach him a lesson. Maybe even show him some new kick-ups, right? Regardless of the little creature's motivation, I would be very scared. Fairy tale. Since we've shown some kids horrified by a mythical creature, why not stick with it and talk about yet another fairy tale video? Some children who by appearance and language seem to be British are playing in a garden or a park. They film everything that happens as part of the fun. What they didn't expect is that on a beautiful day to play in the street, they would end up meeting a very disturbing mythological creature. Perched in a tree, there's a fairy, and she flew at the kids when they got too close, as if she was going to cause some harm to the little ones, you know? The most bizarre thing is that the camera caught all the details, guys. The small creature seemed to have wooden skin and a creepy appearance. Nothing like the fairies Disney puts in the movies, right? Whether the video is real or not is difficult to say with the little information that exists about it on the internet. However, even if that were an insect, that would be enough to make the crowd run away without looking back. Right? Devouring cloud. From children's stories and videos that may have their veracity questioned, to a real story that happened in Brazil, more specifically in a city of Paraná known as Cascavel. A story ran in the newspapers shortly after a giant cloud passed through the place, as if it would swallow everything and everyone with the storm that would never end. The sight of the cloud was so frightening that many people believed that this would be the end of the world, that the city was lost, and that there would be no salvation for those who were embraced by the great devouring cloud. If there's someone here watching this video that is from Cascavel and saw this day happen, leave it here in the comments, okay? Well, the news was given in April of this year, that is 2022. We very well know that no city in Brazil was destroyed in that period. And the people of Cascavel can, really do as I said. Type, Tiago, I saw this cloud pass by. I'm cool. Well, what actually happened that day was a relatively rare meteorological phenomenon called wall cloud. That means, as the name suggests, that a wall of clouds formed and it looked like it would really fall over the whole city. Which must have been a huge scare, of course. Danger on a beach. Returning to the monstrous creatures, a video recorded on the beach in the United Kingdom shocked the region and the world for being the possible proof of a sea creature beyond frightening. Some say it's a monster similar to the one that lives in Loch Ness, which I've already spoken of here on the channel. Others think that it could be an even more terrible and frightening animal. The point is that the creature was filmed on the beach when the owner of the video didn't even believe that it was a living being in fact. For the amateur cinematographer, everything was just a pile of garbage floating in the water. It was only after a deeper analysis that the woman noticed that it was indeed a living being that was moving quickly along the beach. Scientists who analyzed the clip said that this could just be a basking shark that was close to the shore. But theorists that have emerged on the internet suggest a multitude of other creatures. From more dangerous sharks to, of course, monsters that hide in the waters to wait for the right time to attack. Demogorgon. From the United Kingdom, we return to Brazil, more specifically to the state of Bahia. In September 2020, WhatsApp groups in the region of Ilhues and Teixeira de Freitas were bombarded with the following information. A creature similar to a demogorgon from the Stranger Things series would be walking around the city. In this video, it is possible to clearly see the monster with its strange and not very human features, which theoretically would rule out any possibility of being a person dressed up to scare the neighbors. The images are also not clear enough to say they are true. You know how it is. Out of nowhere, a monster appears and everyone's cameras drop 100 megapixels in quality. Well, the point is that this was not enough to calm the residents of the region who were very scared, and the topic even made it to the newspapers. I would like to hear from the people of Bahia. Did you ever receive this video claiming to be a real creature haunting the state? Leave your story in the comments and I'll love to read it, okay? Navigating Island. From Bahia, we head straight to the Navigating Islands, where something very strange happened and scared the residents of Afua, Brazil, when everyone least expected it. Still under daylight, entire islands broke away from the land and began to literally navigate the rivers of the region, like gigantic creatures that decide to change their habitats. These islands have wreaked havoc, destroying buildings and affecting ships as well. But what would be the cause of this terror that we can see shared by Joda Barbosa on YouTube? According to news from the region, such as Portal Amazonia, the detachment of these islands was due to a phenomenon called fallen lands. This is even commonplace in the region because the terrain is irregular and fragile. In this way, erosion drives the movement of the entire islands, those that can do a lot of damage, right? Back from the beyond. Let's go now to an unknown place where something even more macabre was caught, and few can say what really happened. During a walk in a more wooded region, the owner of the footage found a very suspicious hole between the stones. The place looked like a kind of cave or ancient tomb, which in itself would be enough to scare away many people, right? But what happens next is even scarier and makes us feel the tension of the scene through the video. The hand that appears is different from what a normal human's limb could be. A monster? Who knows? Or someone who has returned from beyond to haunt those who disturb their place of eternal rest. Deep Impact. Not every impossible video that might scare you are necessarily the work of a dark world. As I showed you in some cases here, natural phenomena can also be terrifying, and maybe even more devastating, right? In the next video I'm going to show, no one was hurt, but if it was me in that situation, I'd definitely be one step away from having a thing, and well, you know, departing this world. Without further ado, watch this video and get scared too. The scene was captured by several people in the cities of Goiás, Aparecida de Goiânia, and Anápolis. That's right guys, a meteor skimmed through Brazil and gave all possible end-of-the-world signs. Maybe the scene the dinosaurs saw a long time ago, right? Residents of these regions even say they heard a deafening noise after the impact. Others reported to the newspapers that everything shook near the impact zone. The most impressive are not only the reports, but the images. In one video, the fireball that comes from the heavens seems to shine like a sun. If that was scary enough guys, I'm back to dinosaurs. Poor guys, right? Imagine how bad, horrible it must have been to see that scene. Lightning attack. The next scene that you will see also doesn't need many words to define itself. Just embrace and contemplate the horror, because we are very small in this world we live in, you see? Well, as you can see, lightning storms occurs on the horizon. The point is that the phenomenon does not come from the sky, but from the ground, guys. Something completely different from the usual, right? After all, what if someone had invoked these rays to attack someone, like in the movies we see around? The more nerds can even say it was Thor. Fighting there, right? But do you also think it's Thor? Leave it in the comments just so I know, okay? But those who watch more horror movies may believe that it was a mystical being, capable of destroying our entire planet. While I don't believe this is more than a natural phenomenon, I just think that I wouldn't want to watch these rays so closely. It's so beautiful from afar, isn't it? Blood Sky. To end today's video, we have one of the videos that has gone viral in recent times. If a devastating virus and a war weren't enough signs, how about a red sky? The phenomenon really scared the residents on the Zhoushan city on May 7th, 2022. That's because nobody expected the night sky to look like that, like a symbol of the end times, right? Some accounts believe in mystical and religious stories about, of course, the end of the world. Others that could be test experiments, who knows? Well, the answer to this phenomenon is simpler than you would think. According to the city's meteorological department, there is nothing wrong in the sky. No evil gods were invoked and no chemical weapons were used either. What actually happened was a very unusual light refraction, the one that can happen when there is a lot of water in the atmosphere, which bounces off artificial light and causes this effect that is strange, but damn beautiful, right? In the case of the Chinese city, the light from the boats would have been the source. I think even with the scientific explanation, it's not hard to be scared by a scene like this. When you open a window, you just go, oh my god, what's going on? But it's also beautiful, right? Well guys, this video will end here. Leave here in the comments which of these topics you like the most, okay? See you in the next video then. A hug, be well, and until next time. Thanks.